Whenever adults gather in rooms like this, I hear the same beautiful sentences. Children are the future. It is beautiful, yes, but sometimes it makes me wonder whether the future really knows that the present mo ñu war a gën a ñor. See, I am 12, or maybe 17. I could be Musa, or even Fatu, but that does not matter because the real matter is that I am a child and I matter. See, I am a child carrying more worries than books. I am a child who leaves home every morning with a backpack on my back and 1,000 questions at the back of my mind. I am a child who goes to school some mornings where breakfast is just a promise. Sitting in class trying to concentrate, but somehow hunger has a louder voice than those blackboards. And whether I like it or not, whether you like it or not, the weather changes. The rain comes and never leaves. The sun overstays until you'd want it to leave. The rivers grow quiet. The gardens grow more quiet. My father stares at an empty field. My mother stares at an empty pot. And I stare at both of them wondering, why? How? How can climate change so much that even childhood begins to change with it? And yes, education is supposed to be fun. Interesting, but how can it be when sometimes those blackboards make me become so bored of education? So please, the board of education, we are a generation of technology. Yes. And the schools are safe places until you see the empty spaces. Children who leave not because they hate to learn, but because of poverty, distance, disability, and simply being born a girl. And I was shocked when I saw my sister, Binta, leaving school because she was sent off for marriage. And if you think that this is just my story, you must be kidding, because this is the voice of every child being amplified. So, to every parent, every teacher, every leader, and every hand that has the ability to build instead of break, protect the child, not from dreams, but from abuse, from violence, from child marriage, from FGM because he is a gem, and from every hand who steals childhood. You know, keep our communities safe, strengthen our education, choose conversation over violence, guidance over silence, and hope over harm, and allow every child to learn, to eat, to dream, and to speak without fear. Because if you invest in a child, you do not just change one life, but you rewrite the future. And let the work start today because ñun tay mo ñu gëna ñor. And of course to the ministries that champion our education, our healthcare, our environment, and child protection. Thank you for listening to our stories. Thank you for choosing to turn our voices into action and our challenges into solution. See, I am a child. We are children. Invest into us today, and tomorrow we will surely invest in the future because definitely children are the future. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mas Ja. That was a wonderful piece. Now I would love to borrow my podium to the Honorable Minister of Information. Thank you so much, and Onjarama.
Thank you, Mariama, the next Minister of Information of the Republic of the Gambia. Thank you, you've done an amazing work this morning. And thank you, our poet. It was a very beautiful poem. And I think for me, that which stands out is your last sentence, that every generation you build for the next generation. Today, His Excellency the President has a dual task. He's not building to provide for our needs of today, but also is building to prepare for the future, so that the next generation will not expend their time and resources for themselves because already those foundations are laid, but they'll focus on building the country for the next generation, and that is how it works. So thank you for that beautiful point. Now we're at the cusp of the event, the dialogue itself, and the interface. I'm pleased to inform you that we have about 9 cabinet ministers today. That's almost half of cabinet. This shows how important the government takes child issues seriously. Saturday morning, they're all planning to go on tour with the president, yet they came here to interface with you. It shows that your issues are important for them. On the panel, we have the Honorable Minister responsible for basic and secondary education to answer questions about access in education sector, about curriculum development, about overall the welfare of the child insofar as our sector is concerned. Then we have the Honorable Minister responsible for youth and sports, who will also answer questions on our investments in young people, developing their talents, but also in sports. We have the minister responsible for gender, obviously, responsible for children as well, who will also be here to answer your pertinent questions. We have the minister responsible for environment. How is the environment affecting young children in this country? And what mitigation mechanisms are in place to protect children from the hazards of the environment? We have the minister responsible for trade, employment, regional integration, industry, a very big portfolio to answer questions concerning his sector. We have another important ministry. It's an emerging sector, digital economy. The children want to know about digital inclusion, digital skills, online safety policies, and so on and so forth. And the minister responsible for energy and petroleum. Our children are, like I said, this government is the future generation's government. Every resource we extract, we should consider how it will impact the next generation. We talk about those issues, but also energy expansion initiatives by this government. And finally, we have the minister responsible for public service to speak about the reforms in the public service sector, and also innovation within the public service, and how children can benefit from government services. So it's a full house, packed with ministers, ranging from basic education to public service. And we have children from across the country to ask questions, but also to make follow-ups from the last MANSA KUNDA. Not to waste your time, we'll go straight to the ministers. I'll be very strict with time. I'll give each minister only 2 minutes and 20 seconds to tell us who you are, your sector, and your mandate. 2 minutes and 20 seconds, please. I'll start with the minister responsible for basic and secondary education. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister of Information, Media and Broadcasting Services, Honorable Minister of Gender, other colleague honorable ministers here, the diplomatic corps, partners, children of the Children National Assembly representatives here present, the speaker. It excites me so much to participate in this important dialogue. A dialogue that is not only bringing the young people and ministers and other partners together, but a dialogue to forge a path forward in strengthening governance in this country and also development. I'm Dr. Drame Habibatu, Minister Basic and Secondary Education, and you know the mandate of the Minister of Basic and Secondary Education, basically to provide quality, inclusive education at the level of basic and secondary education in this country. So we have been doing this largely to ensure that every child in this country has access to free quality basic and secondary education. By far now, across the country, we have schools at the level of nursery to senior secondary levels, across the country. From 2025 to date, we are able to build 11 classrooms every day to ensure that we expand access to education. I want to take this opportunity to appreciate and thank our partner, strong partner of this government, the MRC Holland Foundation, and the country rep who is here with us today. In terms of inclusive education as a country, we championing reforms to ensure that our learners with special needs are supported with assistive devices to make learning easy for them. And I think we have been able to do this with several partners, including the European Union, UNICEF, and the like. When it comes to girls' education, as a country, we have attained parity. We have more girls in all levels of education in this country. When it comes to teachers who deliver the services of teaching as a country, we are working very hard to champion reforms to ensure that we strengthen our teacher capacity to ensure that the teaching service is delivered in a more efficient and effective manner. By far, all our teachers, especially in public schools, over 90% of all teachers have the required qualification to deliver the services of teaching in our schools. So we'll continue with the reforms to ensure we strengthen school feeding, yes. So as a country also, we support the learners, and I think this is a concern that has been raised here, that due to poverty, some learners find it difficult to concentrate in the classrooms as a result of hunger. So we are extending school feeding to over 700 schools across the country, including madrasas, to ensure that learners don't only go to school to learn, but also go to school healthy and able to concentrate. So basically, a lot of things are happening, so we'll allow the learners themselves to take the podium or to take the time to ask questions regarding their welfare in the schools, and we will be very happy to respond to some of the concerns that you have. Thank you.
Our Minister for Youth and Sports.
Thank you. Good morning to the ministers that are present here. Of course, the Minister of Information and all the colleague ministers that are present, the permanent secretaries, the directors, and all of the invited guests, the Speaker of the Children's Parliament, as well as all the members. It's good to join you once again after the very successful MANSA KUNDA, special MANSA KUNDA last year, and we're having the second edition. Of course, I'll have to acknowledge especially our staffs from the Ministry of Youth and Sports, the Executive Director of the National Youth Council. By the way, the Children National Assembly is still housed at the National Youth Council, and they do all the coordination, bringing all the children here. So it's good that they're also given a special mention, having worked in the past days to coordinate all of the work that is happening here with UNICEF and the Ministry of Gender and now the Ministry of Information. The Ministry of Youth and Sports, as you all know, is the government ministry responsible for the coordination of the government response and policy on issues of youth and sports. And our primary function is general coordination, governance issues, development of policy and programs to oversee the youth and sports sector. Specifically on the youth side, we have quite a number of institutions that are mandated to do that, and that include the National Youth Council, the National Youth Service Scheme, the President International Award, and the National Enterprise Development Initiative called NEDI. And on the sport institute side, we have the National Sport Council, we have Independent Stadium, and we have the overall coordinating institution called the Department of Youth and Sports. And then we have staffs in the regions that coordinate with all the structures, and primarily working with the associations and the sports federations to ensure that sports governance and sport programs are implemented successfully, and then also supporting young people, empowering young people with training and other related matters. So in general terms, our work specifically reflects some of the youth that are here. Some are children, but they also fall under the youth category because our youth definition is 15 to 35. So anyone who is between 15 and 18 is a child, at the same time, a youth. So we're glad to have you. And of course,
Thank you.
Our PS of trade is there. I don't know why he's sitting at the back, but I think he also needs to be recognized. PS, welcome.
Thank you. Other Minister for Gender.
Thank you once again. The Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Welfare, first ever stand-alone ministry responsible for children's affairs. In addition to women, the elderly, people with disability, and the vulnerable, we are responsible for the general welfare of children to make sure that they are well protected and all their rights are reserved. We do have programs. We work closely with all government institutions, development partners, to make sure that children's issues are well protected. We are all aware that Gambia has signed and ratified international human rights instruments protecting the welfare of children. We have the Children's Act, which we are reviewing at the moment, taking on board emerging issues. We are taking care of children with disability. We have a disability fund, fully funded by the government of the Gambia. And we also have a children's fund. And the disability fund is going towards supporting children. My team has just returned from the field to assess the needs of people, children with disability. And a comprehensive report is going to be written, and we'll use that fund to support the needs and welfare of children with disability. Last year when we were here, we had issues regarding children with disability, and this is the reason why this year we chose to go around the country and assess the needs of children with disability. And I'm just returning from a meeting in Windhoek when I expressed the need for support for children with disability. And a UNICEF staff was present at that meeting, who immediately called Nafisa to let her know that this year and from now onwards, UNICEF Gambia Country Office will give you more funding to support us to assist children with disability. And this report that my staff are putting together will be shared with UNICEF, and we'll see how together we can support the needs of children with disability. We also have a children's fund, fully funded by the government of Gambia, a $4 million fund for vulnerable children. We support children in our shelter in Backwater, and I want to thank very much the Mercy Holland Foundation for coming to our support by building a school at the shelter in Backwater. We have other partners also who are supporting with the shelter in Backwater, and we want to decentralize to have shelters across the country so that children don't have to travel all the way from rural areas to be sheltered at the shelter in Backwater. We thank our partners who are always there to support when it comes to child protection. We thank very much the Human Rights Commission for being there to remind us issues regarding child protection.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Last year, from Geneva, when we presented the children's report, we worked closely together with UNICEF and the Human Rights Commission to put in place a monitoring unit at the Human Rights Commission. We did support that. At the University of the Gambia,
thank you, Honorable.
Collection on children's issues.
Thank you.
We have established a program on child welfare, and now we'll be collecting data with UTG on children's issues.
Thank you.
So
thank you.
You can see we are leaving no stone unturned.
Yes, ma'am.
To make sure that
thank you.
children of the Gambia are well protected.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Environment.
Thank you. Good morning. Good morning to you all present. I am Mrs. Rohi John Manjang, Minister for Environment, Climate Change, and Natural Resources. Under my ministry, I cover all the mandates rested on the Department of Forestry, the Department of Parks and Wildlife, the National Environment Management Agency, and the climate change. This is a lot, But just to tell you that we are not shouldering the responsibility all alone. We are taking the lead, and all other sectors also have a responsibility to execute and implement our targets. The Gambia is a country that is very small, and we are responsible for less than 0.01% to the impact of climate change, which the young people, the children, the women are heavily hit at. But again, our leadership position is very strong on this. The Gambia submitted its national determined contribution to in 2021 that has registered unprecedented and historic ambitious level to respond to the impact of climate change. And also for the first time in the history of the Gambia, very recent, we have just concluded a National Climate Change Act. And in this act, I'm interested to tell you that the young people are not left behind. Seeing the number today, seeing the initiative of having this novel MANSA KUNDA, seeing the leadership role of His Excellency's President's ambitions, but also led by the Minister for Information and our partners, the UN body, in this case the UNICEF, supporting the leadership role of the young people of today to champion decision making, to take the lead in asking what belongs to them, but also seeking the guidance as to their responsibilities and also their rights. I think I'm happy to tell you that under this act, we having the responsibility and the mandate to constitute a Youth Environment Council. This council will shoulder the responsibility to think for the young people, to make sure that their decisions, their rights are being captured when it comes to climate change, but environment matters. This is what we need. We do not want to tell you what you want. We want you to tell us what you want and also to make the decision for yourself for them to be implemented. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, Minister for Trade, Employment, Regional Integration and Industry.
Good morning. Thank you, moderator. I am glad to be back again. Haven't attended last year, so I said to myself, there is no way I will miss this one again. I thank God that I am healthy enough to attend. And I want to also salute the initiative and thank the organizers, our development partners, and of course, all our cooperative partners, but more so the children. I am happy to be here with you. As a ministry, we are given the responsibility of managing 4 portfolios, and of course, it's supported by 4 departments and 3 institutions. And the responsibility, which is 4 in 1, the trade portfolio, which is quite big, because when we say trade and markets, it's about your domestic market, but also the international market, and all that goes in between, because before I go to Europe or elsewhere, there must be some logistics, right? And there must be also rules and regulations supporting that particular trade transactions. That is how complex and rule-based the market is all about. Moving from trade, then you also need your industries to be able to produce. To perform and do well in the international market, you must also be able to prepare yourself, produce commodity and services to be able to sell. It is only when you sell, you earn, and then you also do something else. But between these 2 portfolios, it's about also labor and employment. People have to be given a job to do. And how do you do that? is actually to prepare them. Skills development become vital. And that is also why you are so important. The school's environment must be adaptive and must also be ready for the job. Our curriculum must be refined and developed to respond to current development and the new needs of the market. Then from the labor aspects, labor everywhere is about rule-based. The relationship between the employer and employees. They must be designed in a way and manner when actually the employees are also protected, but the employers also rights are also protected, and their investments are also protected. These are very, very important issues. But more so also as a country, the Gambia, we are not alone. We locate in a region, and that is West Africa. Economic integration and cooperation become very vital. How do we cooperate with our neighbors? How do we cooperate globally? And what defines our interest and collaboration in a way and manner that enhances the social welfare of Gambians?
Thank you.
So that become also very, very critical. So
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much. Digital economy.
Morning. Morning to the Children's Parliament, the children representing here. Special greetings to the civil society organization, our very dedicated development partners, Honorable Minister and my colleagues here. I represent the Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy. Almost I represent every ministry here and all of you. What is our sector and what does it comprise? The infrastructure that we are using for the provision of communication services falls squarely under our ministry. The service delivery in the communication sector also falls squarely under our ministry. And our objective is to create a digital economy by using these communication tools, the infrastructure, and the services. Some of the institutions that directly are under our supervision include, among many others, the GAMTELs, the GAMCELs, the AfriCells, the COMIUMs, the QCells, the NetPeg Unique Solutions, DK Telecoms, YCells, almost all ISP providers in this country. But the biggest stakeholders are you, the service users, those who are using the communication services. So we are almost everywhere. It's a sector that many depend on us, and many look for the infrastructure and the services that we are actually dealing with. At the moment, in fact, it is the case that it seems nothing can be done without us, and everything, in fact, comes through us. And yet, you may be surprised, the sector tools can be the very evil that can destroy us as a country or as a nation. So we look at all that. Especially for the children, we have quite a number of policy documents, especially online protection. But more importantly, the two areas as far as your development is concerned. That is first, the stabilization of your personalities. We use the tools to really be helping in that stabilization. And also, number two, your socialization process as children. So these digital tools are there that we are using, but how do you see them and where can you find them? We have one particular policy called technology-enabled education. We have now provided through our tools, the technology tools, the communication tools, a lot of access is being created and provided for the children, especially in the areas of learning. So it's a very wide sector and it's quite challenging. Lastly, almost every day the services we are using, whether it's money transfer, whether it's the wave we are using now or other applications that we are using now, all these areas fall squarely or they're directly on our ministry.
Thank you.
So we have a lot of challenges, but children-focused challenges are there.
Thank you.
And we're doing a lot in that area. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. The penultimate minister, Minister for Energy and Petroleum.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Am I audible? Okay. Thank you very much. I am Honorable Nani Juara, the Minister for Petroleum, Energy and Mines. I think I'll stick to your time, Honorable. Our mandate is to provide sustainable energy across the country, nationwide, which is adequate and also affordable. In terms of petroleum sector, is to sustainably harness the hydrocarbon resources of this country and other minerals for socio-economic development. We are working very hard as a country to expand our energy infrastructure across the country. In 2017, when this new government took over, it's not a new government, when the government took over, we had only access levels of about 43%. And as we speak, we have achieved 90% electricity access in the country. Gambia will be one of those countries in Africa that will achieve universal access before 2030 as per the SDG targets. We have only 10% to achieve this, and we are grateful to our partners, UNDP, UN, and all other partners, the World Bank, African Development Bank, and other partners for their support. In the area of generation, we are working very hard to transition from the usual mode of production, which is thermal-based, to renewables. The Gambia has, for the first time, commissioned its first utility-scale solar plant in country, which is about 23 megawatts with 8 megawatts-hour battery storage, which we have commissioned in 2023 or 2024 in Jambur. So that is currently in operation. We are working hard to increase the generation capacity with additional 150 megawatt solar plant to be located in Jarasoma. So currently we are working hard to complete the first phase of that tender process, which is 50 megawatts, and we are hopeful by September that contract will be executed to make sure we start implementation before the end of the year.
Thank you.
So thank you very much, Doctor.
Thank you. Finally, I can't wait to listen to the children. Public service, please.
Thank you very much. Let me join colleagues to thank the Honorable Minister of Information, Media and Broadcasting for convening this MANSA KUNDA. I missed the last one last year due to some engagements, but to also thank the development partners, particularly the UN agencies that have been behind this. Our ministry, by its name even, is so big and has so much relevance to what all the other ministries do. And I think our name in itself, says it all. It's the Ministry of Public Service, Administrative Reforms, Policy Coordination and Delivery. It's a long name. It has the longest, it's the ministry with the longest name in government. But actually, just to give you a sense of what it does, I'll just relate it to what you would expect of government as far as public services are concerned. You see, for all the ministries that are here, whatever plans they have, at the end of the day, or plans or policies, at the end of the day, they must be implemented. Part of our responsibility is to ensure that the capacity in terms of numbers and skills are actually employed. just to alert you, the direction we are taking in that area is to ensure that eventually, for you to be an officer in the public service, you must get the right skills, you must have the right attitudes, and you must also meet certain minimum requirements. Otherwise, you will not even be considered. I'll just give you an example of what happened recently. 4 positions were advertised in one ministry, and 135 people applied for those 4 positions. But the system we are building to ensure that the ministries have the right people with the right capacities without human interference, the shortlisting was done by the machine, and 12 people were shortlisted. So just to inform you that as children, if you want to be part of that, development of this Gambia in that direction where we will have our systems being run by competent people, you must prepare yourself today. And preparing yourself today would require, listening to you by these ministries that are sitting here and ensuring that tomorrow the skills that are required you will get.
Thank you.
So I'm not going to bore you with a lot of what is happening. But right now, what I can tell you is we are trying to build the blocks that would help us provide public services to the Gambian citizens wherever you are in the most efficient and effective manner. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Before we proceed, I'd like to recognize the presence of a few people. The CMD of the FSTH is here, partly representing the Minister of Health. If you have any questions that are health related, we would appreciate if you could answer those questions. But also to acknowledge the support and presence of a few people. Our PSs, I've seen a few PSs here, gender, information, energy. Another PS is here. They said behind every successful man is a what? Is a what? But every successful minister is a strong PS. So we say thank you to our PSs for the hard work and the support they are giving to the ministers to execute their mandate. I also recognize the presence and the support of the DG of GRTS, but also the Director of Department of Information Services. These 2 agencies under me have been amazing. Without them, I would not succeed as a minister. And they're here today, and I see them also here, and I thank you. And GRTS has been very supportive of the MANSA KUNDA, a critical part, but also all the media houses, from Paradise to Star TV to QTV to all the online media. I mean, all of you, you've been amazing, and thank you for your support. But also, you cannot talk about education in the Gambia without talking about MRC Holland Foundation. They've been very supportive, and I see her here as well. Madam, thank you for your support. I think the minister said it. You are building 11 classrooms a week. That happens nowhere in the world, not even in the heaven. In heaven. So thank you very much. Now we go to the Q&A. To cover as much ground as possible, I'm introducing a new model, a new format called the 30-to-2 format. That is, you get only 30 seconds to ask your question and 2 minutes to answer those questions. Let me repeat. To cover as much ground as possible, with the available time we have, you have only 30 seconds to ask a question and 2 minutes for the minister to respond to that question. I'm going to apply that rule strictly. So now we start. We'll take 3 questions, 30 seconds each. We'll give the ministers 2 minutes each to answer that question. Who goes first? Where is the mic? Who's over there with the mic? Yes, we'll take in front here. There is a young lady in front over there. Who's having the mic? Yes. So introduce yourself and where you are from, and you ask your question directly. Thank you.
Thank you so very much for giving me the chance, and good morning to you all. My name is Honorable Fatumata El Toure, that's my sign name, Fatumata, from West Coast. Thank you, Honorable Ministers, for coming. And my question will be directed to the Minister of Employment. Yeah. But before that, I want to acknowledge the progress that the Minister of Education is doing, particularly the higher education, for providing us with sign language interpreters at the colleges, at the GTTI as well. Now my question will go into the direct to the Minister of Trade. Now that most of the deaf are into the college, learning, and considering the fact that we have few deaf schools in the Gambia, my question will be, what will be the fate of us, the deaf or hard of hearing, who are learning in these colleges or these universities? What institution do you think will accommodate us? Because when these schools are saturated, and we don't have any other institution which will absorb us, the complaints will become,
right.
like our reason for learning will become useless. So
thank you.
My question is, what will be our fate after we complete our tertiary education?
The question is clear.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, please. Honorable Minister, take note of that question. Next.
Okay, good morning, everyone. My name is Honorable Awajalo from Banjo. And I would first of all like to acknowledge each and every minister present here for taking your time to answer the call of the children of the Gambia. And I would also like to appreciate the Ministry of Education for putting the interest of every child first, especially with the distribution of textbooks to all schools. However, we have issues with the textbooks because providing the textbook is one thing, but the quality of the textbook is another thing. Yes, we have the textbooks, but we have issues with the content of these textbooks. So we're doing, as art students, we're doing literature, and we're doing a novel called The Redemption Road. But if you read into the literature textbook, it's giving you another story different from what we're supposed to be doing there. So we also have issue of the durability of the textbooks. That is, we are unable to keep these books in good quality for a long period of time. So it's going to be very hard for us to keep them long without having damages.
Thank you. What's your question?
Oh God. Okay, so my question is, what can your ministry do immediately to ensure that these problems are fixed? Because these are the same textbooks that are going to be used to sit us to exams for Gabasi and WAS. And if it has issues, then that becomes a problem for us. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Final question for this round.
Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. My name is Honorable Ibogay from NBR. It's a great pleasure to be part of this humble house. It's also a big opportunity to be taking part of this meeting. Okay, I want to take this opportunity to sincerely thank you for your unwavering efforts in improving children's health care in the Gambia. Your dedication to expanding healthcare and protecting young lives is appreciated. However, the CMD representing Minister of Health, many children in NBR are affected, referred outside the country, outside the region for treatment. This burdens families and delays care. We sincerely seek clarifications on the ministry plan to provide comprehensive health care within NBR, so no children will be referred outside.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Clear question. We come back to the ministers. We start with trade. The question was for you. The second question for basic education, and the last question for the CMD. Thank you.
Thank you. It's a very important question, and it's about disability in the job market or in the job environment. To what extent, policy-wise, as well as the environment, provide for equal opportunity as well as support to disabled employees. I think the default position is that every individual must have equal rights to opportunities. And if that is the default position, then government or employers must do everything possible to making sure that we have equal opportunity and chances in the job environment. But that means that we must do extra efforts in making sure that not only disabled are in our job market, but they are also provided the right tools and the right support to prosper and to also do well. What that means is that starting with our building environment or the structures, they must be disabled friendly. We must provide access to these buildings. And we also must not discriminate. We must provide equal opportunities for all of them in terms of training prospects, in terms of remuneration, but also everything that will make them excel in the work that they do. So it's a huge responsibility, but we are aware of this, and we are creating policies within our employment policies and as well as labor laws to make it sure that those discrimination, even if they are perceived, are taken care of and remedied. And I therefore call upon all my colleagues, ministries and ministries and department to making sure that what is being asked there is here is very, very important. It's a reality we live with, but we must face the challenge. And to be able to deal with that, we must deploy resources, provide a support environment, and be sensitive to the plight of the disabled. Thank you.
Thank you. I thought also, just in addition to that, the Disability Act of the Gambia touches on that as well. And I think the minister responsible for gender can briefly, I think that act is your act, isn't it? Yeah, briefly, if you can just tell us exactly what the act says on equal opportunities for persons with disability, insofar as the job market is concerned.
Thank you very much. For the first time in the history of the Gambia, we now have a Disability Act with the coming of the ministry, and we have a disability policy. And in both the policy and the act, nobody is left behind. Because if you have a disability, doesn't mean that you're going to be employed. Once you finish your education at whatever level, we'll see what positions you can occupy, what you can do for the Gambia, because this is the reason why you are being educated. Because you have a disability, it doesn't mean that you have an inability. So once you finish your education, I'm sure there'll be something for you in any of the ministries where you can serve. We have people with disability in the judiciary. We have them in all other sectors. And not too long ago, Comium approached me to see if we can provide them with people with disability whom they can recruit at Comium. So we are still waiting for them to give us the TOR. Then we'll approach the Disability Association for them to recruit the 2 persons for Comium. So we rest assured, as you finish your education, there'll be a job for you to do. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. The next question was for the minister responsible for basic and secondary education. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that question. We are aware as a sector of the challenges and the gaps that we have in the last book production, and these gaps and challenges have been we have noted them. The next round of book production that's already on the way will ensure that the books that are produced for the senior secondary, actually this is peculiar to the books that we produced for the senior secondary schools from grades 10 to 12. So hopefully this new round of production will come out with high quality in terms of durability. And also in respect to the content, we are also working on that. This year, starting last year, we have decided to, as part of our reforms, engage our local curricular content creators so that we can be more sustainable in trying to deliver quality teaching and learning. We have so much depended on outside experts to develop curricula in the Gambia, or to even use books of writers who are not Gambian. So it's a whole lot of things that are happening right now in terms of reforms to ensure that we attain sustainability in our work in terms of content development, curricular content development, and in the areas of printing also use our own local systems to do the printing. So I know the hitches will be there in the beginning, but we are aware of them and we are working very hard to address them. So the next round of book production, I'm sure all the learners will see a huge difference in terms of quality and content. We are not only stopping there, we are working to digitalize our curricular content. I want to take this opportunity to thank Nafisa, the UNICEF country representative, for the support that her and her team has been given to the ministry. They have supported over 100 schools with digital technology materials to have a hybrid system of curricular content. So we are moving away from 100% traditional way of teaching and learning to a more hybrid, traditional and technology-driven learning system in our classrooms. So thank you for that.
Thank you very much. I think from what I understand, we are moving to digital technologies. It means that we're not using books anymore. With time, every aspect of your content will be in a tablet, isn't it, Minister? What will happen to our publishing corporation that is under me? They'll go bankrupt. They will not print books anymore. On that side, now final question, CMD, health expansion.
Ismail, if you allow me just for a second.
Yeah.
Relating back to the question that was asked on employment and disability. I think the importance is so touching and it's so important, and it's an appeal I want to make directly, that our job environment and our employers must make deliberate effort in making sure that their job spaces are also suitable for the disabled. It's very, very critical because it's a very fundamental question of access to opportunities. And deliberately it could be qualified. If the job places are not suitable for them, it could qualify as limitations and in access to those jobs opportunities. And that will amount to discrimination. That should be avoided at all costs. Thank you.
Yeah. Very, very, very pertinent. Yes. No, just take the mic from there. Health expansion, North Bank.
Thank you very much. I can stand. Huh? Thank you very much, Honorable, and thank you for the question. I'm here to also help with the answers for health. The Minister of Health is unavoidably absent, and is currently doing what you tasked us to do last year, that you wanted expansion. He's outside in the country, at the remote areas, opening new health posts, about 5, and giving out also more ambulances to different communities. So you've asked a very important question, which is what exactly the Minister of Health is doing. That is, 1, to expand the facilities, which we are doing tremendously. 2, to provide equipment, and 3, the human resources. If you look at the North Bank, the facilities we've put in there are many already. Chise Majau, we've put in Kerewan, and Farafenye is improved.
Salikenya.
Salikenya, and we have few others also coming up, help us very soon. There's another 8 that we are doing, which right now we've put in a lot of community ambulances to improve access, because before there was a problem of access. If they want to go, it takes a long time. What used to be a day's journey, now it's just 30 minutes or 45 minutes. So now, regarding the services that are going to be at North Bank, I'm happy to tell you that we have done the postgraduate training. For example, if you look at pediatrics, we have 8 residents who are at the senior level. This, in the past, used to take us more than 10 years to train 8 pediatricians. Now, within this short period, we have 8 who are members, and very soon they are going to do their fellowship. If this one finish, of course, we are going to post them around. But right now, if we go to Farafenye Hospital and all these facilities, you will see Gambian doctors providing services. This is what we are doing. Regarding dialysis, what people are coming, the first step was Banjul, second is Bansang, and the next one will be in Farafenye. So this is what we are doing, so that people don't leave Farafenye to come back. So if you see, the service has gone up, and we are going to take it further to international level. Thank you.
We go to the second round of questions. It's a lot of hands up, huh?
Okay, thank you for giving me the floor. I go by the name Honorable Usman Jai from Kanifing Municipality.
From where?
Kanifing Municipality, KM. Honorable Minister, we appreciate the effort your ministry has made to support the protect young people in our communities. So my question is,
To which minister? Your question to which minister?
It's open.
It's open. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, my question is, what measures is the government taking to prevent drug abuse among young people and help the ones that are already affected by it?
Drug abuse.
Yeah.
Thank you. Next question.
Good morning, everyone. I am Honorable Maria Majaju, representing West Coast Region. And before going further, I would like to acknowledge the presence of all ministers from their various ministries. And a special vote of thanks go to MOPSI. We recognize your endless effort that you have put into our education. And my question is, how do you and your ministry do to ensure that every madrasa in the Gambia get access to good infrastructure such as ramps, toilets, and sign language for persons living with disabilities? And also, how do you prioritize children's rights and well-being to shape a brighter future for the Gambia with the theme investment, accountability, and participation for every child? I thank you all.
Panel question. Yeah.
Okay. Greetings, honorable ministers, honorable members, ladies and gentlemen. I am Honorable Binta KK Faraja from NatBank. So my question goes to Honorable Minister for Basic and Secondary Education. The question is, despite free and low basic education, many parents in my region, especially in NatBank region, still pay for uniforms and books. What is the ministry doing to make sure that basic education is truly free and affordable for all the children in the Gambia? I thank you.
We come back to the ministers. The first question, drug abuse. Which minister wants to answer that question? Information. Of course, as a government, we take the problem very seriously because we know it affects our young people, but also affects the future of this country. That is why, as a government, we have a multi-sectoral approach. The UNDP is working with the Drug Law Enforcement Agency to raise awareness and sensitization across communities and schools in the country. That is one aspect of it. But also enforcement. The Drug Law Enforcement is working very hard to stop traffickers, to make sure we don't have drugs in our communities. And that is the enforcement component of it. And we're investing a lot in youth schemes. The Minister of Basic Education is here. Is it the youth, the schemes you do at the Presidential Award Scheme, the graduate scheme, but also having young people join these initiatives that you do, the ones you graduate, the NYSS, and so on and so forth. So it's a lot of things we are doing across multiple sectors. But the most important thing is to invest in young people, make sure we create opportunities for them, support law enforcement to fight drug trafficking, but also the selling of drugs, but also do a lot of sensitization. But the most important also, government alone cannot fight drug abuse. Everybody has a role to play, from community leaders, social leaders, even parents have a role to play. Because these things take place in our communities. What government can do is to support the police and law enforcement to enforce the law, to protect our citizens, but also everyone has a role to play, particularly parents and the schools. So at this, the conversion continues. We take it very seriously, and we hope, and our priority as a government is a drug-free society, and that is what we are working towards. Anyone wants to add anything to that, Minister?
No, let me just add that in addition to the sensitization and the enforcement, there are already current efforts, of course, to expand that or to extend that to the rehabilitation, because that is very important. I mean, of course, there are some that no matter how much you enforce, no matter how much you raise awareness, they will still use it. So what do we do with those individuals? The Ministry of Interior working through the Drug Law Enforcement Agency, is currently constructing, or maybe they might have already started also, but I know they do have the plans to construct a rehabilitation center to be able to help those that have already been into drug use, to help in rehabilitation. Also at the prisons, the Mile 2 prisons and the Mile 7, there is already a rehabilitation program that is inbuilt in the correction center. So those who go there and they are found to be drug users, they help to be able to heal and then come out as better individuals.
Thank you. And I also think parents also stop sending your children to buy cigarettes for you in the shops. Buy cigarettes, huh? Stop. We have to stop that. So that's why it starts. You send them to buy 1, 2 cigarettes, they start smoking. From smoking to alcohol to drugs. So parents have a role to play as well.
Thank you very much. The Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Welfare works closely with the prisons. Those young children who have been kept there for one reason or the other, once their term has completed, we work closely with UNICEF to get them trained in a skill of their choice. And then they are attached to skill centers, and funding is provided by UNICEF, where these young children or young Gambians are trained on a skill of their choice, so that at the end of their training, they can adopt a skill and be self-employed or be employed by other institutions. So these are children who have been kept at detention centers because of drugs. So once their term has ended, they don't just go into the community like that. We work closely with the Interior Ministry and UNICEF, so we train them on a skill of their choice, so that they can become more productive citizens of the country. But again, one point is clear. Honorable Caesar just said this. Parents didn't send, or adults didn't send children to buy cigarette or alcohol, because once they start buying for adults, they want to start testing it, and that can do something else.
Thank you. Now, drug abuse is a public health issue as well. Health, you have anything to add to that, please?
Thank you very much. I think this is a very important question. Last year, when we came, we were asked about what is the Minister of Health going to do to ensure that what happened to those 66 children don't happen again. And this is a bit related. We've done a lot about what you told us last year. We were very serious about it, and we've done a lot on them, but we couldn't have a chance to report them today, but hopefully next year we will. This is one of the questions you asked. And I can happily tell you now that that will not happen again in Gambia, because now we have a national food and drug quality control laboratory that's going to test all this. And the other thing is that, related to that, is this lab doesn't only test for food and drug, but it can also test for these hard drugs. Related to this is the people who have complications from taking these. In the Ministry of Health, they develop mental health, and we are strengthening that. Through the National Human Rights Help, we are now reviewing our act, which is more than 100 years old, so that it will be more responsive to the current needs. We are starting postgraduate training on mental health now. If I tell you, you won't believe. Right now in the Gambia, we have a professor of psychiatry who is training a lot of residents in this country. And MRC Holland is here. They are not only helping in that, they are also helping in this area. And we've started also to review this act, and it has gone very far. And hopefully, with the support of everyone, you will see a more responsive
Thank
act.
you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next question was for digital economy. Yeah, you want to say something, Minister? Yeah, go on, please.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Look, do we want to treat the effect or the cause? If we focus too much on the effect, we'll just be spending money when we don't touch the cause. Don't just tell them not to send the children to buy a cigarette. Let the parents stop smoking. That's the first thing. Number two, I think it's very important, we have to take it seriously. If you look at the category of the people who are these people using the drugs, they will either go to school and start loitering. They are either actually effectively not inside the school campus. So in other words, we have to make sure that everybody sticks to the school and we finish it. Generally, those who normally don't finish, the temptations are high and they find themselves in that area. I think that's where the cause is for the children. And that's what we need to address.
Thank you. Brilliant. Brilliant intervention there. The second question was for you. Yes, basic education. Where's the mic, please?
Thank you, and thank you, young lady, for that question. She asked a question regarding madrasas and what we are doing to support madrasas in areas of infrastructure, inclusion, and the rights and well-being of every young person or every child in this country. I am very happy to report that this government has committed itself to work very closely with madrasas. In the past, madrasas were supported with classrooms on a bilingual project that ended, but we are not stopping there. The reforms that we have are targeting madrasas in terms of including or mainstreaming our conventional curricula to allow the madrasa learners to have more opportunities when they complete the madrasa system. We are also working with the Ministry of Higher Education, Research, Science and Technology to help in the seamlessly addressing challenges that they have in terms of transiting to tertiary and higher education. I have also worked with MRC Holland Foundation to support madrasas in terms of school furniture. So we have supported many madrasas by distributing tables and chairs, classroom tables and chairs, and I think many madrasas have benefited from this. Many madrasas in this country also benefit from government funded school feeding, and also some other partners like the CRS through the government of the US government, and of course we have the World Food Program that also supports us in the school feeding. When it comes to inclusion, again, we have not been able to do a lot in the madrasas to ensure that we attain parity. We don't have the data to show that within the madrasa system we have equal boys and girls, but I think the trajectory is very clear in this country. Gender, our idea of gender is basically to support both boys and girls, and that no one should be left behind. This government in 2026 is supporting madrasas with over $200 million. Over $200 million is being expended this year, 2026, to allow madrasas to operate, but also to integrate conventional curricula to support the teaching and learning in the madrasa system. So it's a development, and it is going to be gradual. Yeah. So hopefully with time we will be able to even support them fully in the areas of infrastructure. I think someone raised a question on free education.
Is that the final question, huh? Yes.
That's the final question on the education being free. Yes, we are one of the few African countries that is providing basic and secondary education to every learner in this country free. And of course, there are some hidden costs in the areas of uniform. Every child in this country is also given free textbooks. The only, yes, every learner in the Gambia is given a free textbook, and I think those are very critical in the learning of the child. The only area that the parents come in from time to support the learner is by purchasing exercise books. Even that, we have UNICEF here who has been very supportive in distributing exercise books to learners in the difficult regions of this country, all geared towards supporting the parents to ensure that education is not only free but also convenient for the learners. And I want to just give a very brief comment here based on an experience that I had, and I want to commend the Gambia government and all of us here for the work that we are doing. I visited an African country within Central Africa, and I was shocked by what I saw in a capital city, and in one of the best schools, learners go without sitting on tables and chairs. These learners are still sitting on bare floor. So I think the Gambia has made so much progress in supporting its learners.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Now we go to the next set of, yes?
Thank you very much. At the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Welfare, we have the Family Support Program, through which we support children from needy families. And children going to school whose parents cannot afford uniforms, shoes, and bags. We give support to such families to make sure that the children are comfortable to go to school.
Thank you.
And recently, we have just got the Vulnerable Children's Fund, which is a $4 million given to us by the government of the Gambia. And that's going to complement whatever efforts we are making in supporting families to make sure that they're also very comfortable. Just to add on to what you just said, some years back, we went to a country on a study tour. I won't mention the country. And together, we went with Honorable Boy. We went to the rural areas of the country, and we saw school children go to school barefooted. Boy called our attention and said to me, in the Gambia, we don't have children go to school barefooted. So as a country, we are doing quite a lot.
Thank you.
We are small, but then we have achieved a lot when it comes to supporting our population.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Next set of three questions.
Okay. Good day, everyone. I am Honorable Mariam Andaseka, the Deputy Speaker of the Children's Parliament and a representative of CRR. My question will go to the Honorable Minister of Gender, Children and Social Welfare and Minister of Trade. We appreciate your effort in enforcing laws, labor laws, and promoting decent work, and the 2005 Children's Act, which protects children from child labor. Honorable Minister, however, child labor still remains a challenge in our country. Based on the latest data from the Gambia Bureau of Statistics, national rate, 12.9% of children aged 5 to 17 years in the Gambia are in child labor. That is about 108,087 children, whereby the highest rate is in CRR. 34.7% at Kuntaur in CRR North and 17.9% in CRR South, which I have no doubt because I am an eyewitness of it. Honorable Ministers, we respectfully ask, what more can the ministry do to stop child labor in every region so that no child will suffer for it? 2, how will the ministry invest on families, hold business accountable, and work with communities to ensure that every child in the Gambia is in school, not in the market? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good question. Next, please.
Thank you for giving me the floor. Good afternoon to you all. My name is Jibril Dur, a member of Children's National Assembly of the Gambia, a representative of Guanjul. I stand here for discourse about health. And this health is going us about a diabetes patient in the Gambia. As I am a young Gambian diabetes patient, and I am a member of Young Gambians Diabetes Association. Diabetes is something that cannot affect only individual, but also a family at large. Diabetes, we are affecting us, the children, and the issues affecting us is about the insulin and the BM machine and the feeding. You know, a diabetes patient, you have not eaten a food that contains sugar. You have to run away from it. Only eat food that's no added sugar. And the insulin you need is like Homelin or Abasagalar, and that one is so expensive. And the BM machine, the test strips, one is cost $100. Each packet is cost 1,800, sometimes 2,000. The insulin is cost 1,200. Now, in 2 months, you need 2 packets of insulin and 2 packets of strips, and all those that is cost 10,000. It's all those things are expensive. A family cannot offer it because many expensive have to be provided for the families. And now, how a diabetes patient, you have diabetes and you don't have BM machine, you don't have insulin, because you are eating it, and you have to control your diet. Every meal, you have to check your diabetes level sugar before injection, because you can inject, you don't know whether your diabetes level, sugar level is low or you high. You can inject yourself and the sugar level go down, and that
yeah, if you can go to the question, we'll
and
appreciate
the question
it.
I have is goes to the Minister of Health.
Yeah.
And that question is contributed by the Young Gambian Diabetes Association. And this question is, what are you doing to ensure that patients or children live with diabetes with have easy access to medication and care that they are required to stay healthy? Because the CR Convention at Article 24 says that every child has the right to best possible standard of healthy and best medical care, to clean water, nutrition, food, and a clean, safety environment in which to live. All adults and children should have access to information about how to stay healthy. And
Thank
I
you.
would like to give best opportunity for me. A good support is taken from Banjul at Dr. Gay Clinics, whereby it calls Pakala Clinic. And the sponsors are given from German doctors and led by Lauren.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Next question, please. If we can keep our questions short, we'd appreciate it, please. Next, please.
Thank you for giving me the floor. My name is Honorable Mariama Jebari from URR, and my question is directed to the Ministry of Environment. But first of all, I would like to appreciate the ministry for its continued efforts to improve access to clean and safe water across the Gambia. However, despite these efforts, many children and families in remote villages, particularly those far from Basse Town in URR, still face serious challenges in accessing clean and reliable water. I have seen children work for hours just to fetch water, and some communities continue to depend on unsafe wells and boreholes. Unfortunately, when these boreholes break down, they can remain unrepaired for months, leaving families with very limited options. So my question is, what concrete plans does your ministry have to bring clean, safe, and reliable water closer to children and families in remote communities?
Thank you. Excellent. Next question, the final one for this round, please.
Good day, everyone. My name is Honorable Emily Perry from Carnifing Municipality, and my question goes to the Minister of Gender, Children, and Social Welfare. Honorable Minister, I would like to acknowledge and appreciate the efforts your ministry continues to make in promoting and protecting the welfare and rights of women and girls. But Honorable Minister, my question is, what is your ministry doing to ensure that rape cases do not take long to be resolved? And what are you doing to ensure that those victims get justice on time? Thank you.
Thank you. Back to the ministers. Tough questions from brilliant young minds. We start with trade.
Thank you very much. Again, we appreciate the question that relates to child labor, coming from a report that has been published by GBOS that recognizes the efforts of Gambia government in making sure that the job opportunities are expanded and Gambian workers progressed and prosperity are also enhanced. Having said that, like every other report, despite all the gains that have been made, it also recognizes the issue of child labor. But much as it has to be categorized as child labor, the report also went ahead and put it into context. What it means by child labor is between 13, 14, 15, and 16. Then 16, 17 are recognized as those perhaps in intent and on the training. But let's picture it this way. In the Gambian context, and going strictly by the definition of child labor, these are forced minors and teenagers at the workplaces and unpaid, and perhaps even forced. Is that really the strict definition and context as we have it in the Gambia? Where during perhaps off-season, after schools, these kids are taken to the farms and assist in the activities of farm chores to parents. And in most of our societies, this is largely considered as young kids also on training, being also protected because in those times, the parents are at the farm, not at the homes. And really, are they really forced in the strict definition of it? Like I said, the definition and the category it will fall under strictly would be classified as such, but really in the context of the Gambia and what we are trying to do, in most instances also child protection. The child is with the parents and is not forced, rather most of the time is also being trained. But these are some of the nuances in what is being described there.
Thank you.
Would it really qualify strictly in the strict sense of forced labor and a labor that is also not rewarded? And the twist of that is that this child should have been at school. But during those times, really, in most instances, it's during the holiday time or during the evening when the child is also better safe, protected and better off being closer to the parent at the farms than actually at the home.
Thank you.
These are some of the things that have to be also contextualized and understood.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Honorable Minister responsible for children welfare. Yes, please.
Thank you very much. Child labor is defined as children being exposed to hazardous work that affects their education, their welfare, their general well-being. In the Gambia, what you are seeing is a farmer socializing his or her children to understand where the children are being fed from. During the holidays like we have now, the farmer will be accompanied by the child to the farm. So he or she will support with feeding, or the farmer's food will be taken to the farm by the child. I don't think if you really look at the context in which we define child labor, that is not child labor. I have a shop. In the evenings or during the vacations, my child supports me in the shop so that he knows where the money feeding him or her is coming from. You don't consider that as child labor. The child selling in the streets, that's not child labor either, because if you look at the time that the children sell in the streets, you don't consider that child labor if you look at the real definition of child labor. Even though I don't support children selling in the streets. The children selling nana and water are exposed to violence and many other things. For that reason, I don't support them selling in the streets. The best place for children, we all know, is home and school or the dara. So our children shouldn't be left exposed to anything in street selling. I think one thing we can do as a country is to conduct an assessment. Those children who sell nana in the streets, let's visit their homes and assess the home conditions and know the reason why the children are in the streets selling nana. If it is due to poverty, we have a strong social protection program. That can be extended to those families so that their children can stay at home and go to school. So I think this issue has been raised several times, and it's becoming a case for concern. So we are going to look at this, work closely with the Ministry of Trade and other ministries and also GBOS, and try to look at those children selling in the streets, not those who are assisting their parents on the farm. That's not child labor. And even those selling in the streets, I'm not saying it's child labor, but it is exposing children to danger.
Thank
That's
you.
the reason why we have to assess the
Thank you.
families and see what sort of support we can give to the families so that the children can move
Thank
from
you.
the streets
Thank
selling.
you.
But that too is not child
Thank you.
labor. Let's look at the real definition of
Thank
child
you.
labor. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Public service, you have something to add to that, please.
Thank you. No, it's on this subject matter. I think what has just happened, for me, is pointing to the fact that as a country, we need to have a national conversation on what we, want to consider as child labor. Because really, the context matters a lot. And I'm talking out of experience. In the early 70s, I was coming from St. Augustine's High School and dropping off at Nyambai Forest to go and join my mom at the farm at Canifing Housing Estate. I dare not call that child labor at that time. Do we want to, look at the cases that we would definitely consider as child labor? For me, I think we need to really have a national conversation on the matter so that we'll be clear about what definitely is child labor. Without having a situation where one arm of government will define it this way and another arm would say, no, that definition. I think we really need to have that conversation.
That's a good proposal. So now the next question was also for... On rape, yes, on rape.
Thank you very much. Rape cases take time to address. And it involves the victim, the family, and the suspected individual. We have seen cases where the culprits have been sentenced to 14 years of imprisonment or even more than that, because we know rape is a crime. But then I want to let people know that when an incident occurs, let's report. And when we report, let's stand by the victim at all times. Because sometimes it's not reported. Sometimes it's reported, and then at the end of the day, you don't even have a case because there's nobody else to give you more information on it. But again, the cases are delayed in the courts because of the process that has to take in place. This is the reason why, among others, that we have come up with a specialized court on gender-based violence. And this court, as I mentioned earlier, will be inaugurated sometime in September. We're just trying to make sure that cases of gender-based violence don't stay too long in the courts. That's why this specialized court will be addressing just such cases. But again, please, if you know of a rape case, please report. If you know of a case of gender-based violence, please report. We have the hotline 19199. It's the confidentiality. When you know of any case of gender-based violence, please do report. The person who's reporting will be anonymous. We are not going to reveal the person who has reported, but it's important to report. If you don't report, there isn't much we can do. But rape is very, very serious. It's a very serious crime. Once it is reported, there's nothing like withdrawing the case from the court or from the police. Although we see that happening, families withdraw the cases, and then even where we insist that it's not withdraw, we don't see them again coming forward with the cases.
Thank you.
But then we're just assured, with this court, which we are establishing very soon, no case of gender-based violence, especially rape, will be delayed.
Thank you.
For the victims, we give support. There's victim support to which we give support to victims of gender-based violence. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Minister for Environment, clean water for rural communities.
Thank you. I will use this opportunity to advocate mandates under my ministry, and then I will refer part of the question specific to the ministry responsible. What affects, when we're talking about supply to drinkable water, we need to extract this water from its natural level, that's from the ground, and also maybe to harvest it. But in most of the cases, as we do, we take it from the ground. But again, what affects this quantity of water is an induced level of the climate change, and more so the human-induced ones. We are cutting most of the trees where we need these young people to participate, and also to advocate stronger, because we all have a stake indirectly and directly. If we continue to harvest, to cut these trees, we are causing at least an expansion to desertification. We are drying our lands. Then there will not be any reservoir, and in the waters, these trees serve as the help as a reservoir, and they help to balance the water level and the quantity. So for us to make sure that we are able to balance the number of the population as they continue to increase under the small land size, we have to make sure that we maintain the environmental ecology. And key is to make sure that we have more trees, let's plant more trees, and let's also use this water judiciously. But for the responsibility to provide water to communities or to young people or to schools, the mandate rests under the Minister of Energy and also the Minister of Fisheries. They have a dual responsibility to do this at some level. Thank you.
We are happy that the Minister is here, Public Service is here. We start with energy, water, access to water.
Okay, let me just make a quick comment on that. The Honorable Member of the Assembly from URR, I'm also from URR. So your comments or your question regarding the issues of the open wells, I'm not the Minister for Water Resources who is responsible for rural water supply. We at the Ministry of Energy are responsible for urban and peri-urban water supply. So that's why communities around Basse that are closer to Basse are being supplied from NAWEC. For villages that are not within that cluster are currently being supplied through stand-alone systems by the Ministry of Water Resources. But they have extensively and they have extended this water supply to communities almost all over in URR right now. In fact, across the country. According to the minister, almost about 80+% of our rural communities now have access to clean drinking water. In terms of sustainability, communities, they have their water committees in their various villages. They need to also support government in terms of maintaining those facilities. Sometimes when those boreholes get faulty, amounts like $15,000 or $8,000 to replace the pumps becomes a challenge for those communities. And that's why we are also going to appeal to the communities also to take some responsibility in terms of making sure that those facilities are sustainable. Because government cannot provide those expensive equipments and facilities, but nobody is also ready to take care of them. That would be a challenge. But we have taken note, and we will also bring this to the attention of the minister responsible for rural water supply, who is not with us today. Thank you.
In fact,
yes.
Yeah, I just want to, I wanted to comment on that point. In fact, through our delivery function, we've been around the country to see how some of these, facilities are being, are performing. As the Honorable Minister of Energy rightly said, there are communities where this issue of fixing boreholes is not a problem, simply because when the facility is provided to them, the conditions under which the facilities are provided are normally stipulated. Like the communities should be responsible for A, B, and C. In some communities, it's working very well because the contributions that they're supposed to make, they would make. So when there is a faulty item, they can easily call the, person responsible for fixing it, for it to be fixed. But in others, even this water committee that he's talking about, they are not functioning. So really, this is an area where we need to, sensitize each other. You cannot have a philanthropist or a government providing you with a facility, and the conditions that are attached to it are that you need to be responsible for the, maintenance by contributing. And sometimes, in fact, in one of the communities, they were contributing, but the individual that was, keeping the money went away with it. So these are things that we really need to sensitize each other on. Okay. Because really, government cannot do it all. Thank you.
I think the final question, important one, diabetes. Yes. Yes, on water, yes, quickly.
I think
Honorable, let's have you on water.
No, 1 minute,
quickly,
don't worry. I'm coming in because the beneficiaries of water are women and children. And this is where we work closely, why we work closely with the Ministry of Water Resources in trying to get water close to the communities. As we are speaking, we are going to support 8 communities with boreholes, with support from the Qatar charity. And some of the things we are putting in place is just what Minister of Civil Service has just mentioned. Because once the borehole project is handed over to the community, now it is their own. Ownership comes in. But then how can ownership come in? Ownership can only come in if they're involved in the management of the borehole. So these are things that we are going to put in place. The committee will be responsible for the management of the borehole. And they'll be contributing whatever amount they agree on a periodic basis. So that when there's a fault with the borehole, then they are responsible for the management. Because after all, you cannot get a borehole from a donor, and you still rely on the donor for the maintenance of the borehole.
Thank you.
Ownership goes to the community, and they should be responsible for the maintenance of the borehole. Thank you very much.
Thank you. CMD, round up quickly. We need to be finishing very soon. So, yeah, that question on diabetes, please.
No, thank you. And we are sorry for what the issues you are facing, you and your colleagues, because type 1 diabetes, can start very early in childhood. and then you'll need to be on injectables for so long, early on from childhood. So we are sorry about that. But as a policy, we want to tell you that for children and pregnant women, any drug that is available for children under 5 and pregnant women, they can have free service for any facility that is available in this country. So if it is available, you should have it. But for those who are above 5, for example, and cannot afford, we have sort of a protection program with social protection, where those who are really not able to afford, they can give us the resources, then we give you exemption, then you get reimbursed later. So for those who are poor and those who are young, the facilities are there to protect you. Now, I can assure you that, for example, if you come to the hospitals, there is insulin. But there are different types of insulin. Usually we prioritize the soluble insulin and the short-acting ones. And those are usually needed for emergencies and maybe other things. But the other types, sometimes, if you are not within this age bracket and you are not that poor to be covered by this type of institutions that we have, you are expected to get it. But one thing I want to assure you is that the procurement process used to be the problem. So when we want to order this, we do bidding, and then these people will come and say, oh, I have it. And then when we give them the contract, then they used to have problem to bring it 1, 2, 3, they cannot get the clearance needed from MCA. Now, what Cabinet has taken this serious. The government is taking this very serious. And they've set up a subcommittee. This subcommittee is looking at very efficient ways of making sure that this type of drugs, insulin and these drugs, we use a very quick, straightforward method which we are going to benefit from. And I think this is in the offing soon. Thank you.
This might be the final round of questions. We'll take 6 questions stretch. Wow. It's not possible, huh? Can we take 10 questions stretch, and then the ministers round up and we are done? 10 questions stretch. 10. Ministers can take note. So make them short, please, and the ministers answer, and we go to the closing. Thank you.
Okay, I am Honorable Mohammed Jafune, a SNAC representative for LRR. Well, my question will go to the Honorable Minister of Youth and Sport and Honorable Minister of Electricity. Okay, first I would like to acknowledge.
No.
First I would like to acknowledge your ministry.
Young man, no acknowledgement. Question straight.
Okay. So my question is, last year during our sittings, we submit a call to action paper to the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Welfare, in which we did mention that our national stadium, we need improvement so that we can play our games home here. So I'm asking, what is your ministry doing to ensure that we play home game in
Gambia? Good.
In Gambia
Good
here.
question.
So apart from that, to the Honorable Minister of Electricity, yes, I came from LRA, and in my region, students who sat for WAEC exam this year, they suffered a lot because they do used to go for afternoon classes, but the problem that they face is that electricity do used to go on and off. So they didn't have that chance to read their books properly. Because when electricity...
Yeah, what's the question?
So my question will be, what is your ministry doing to ensure that you provide electricity supply 24/7?
Then thank you. Next question, please. Next question. Oh,
okay. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Honorable Mama Fadi from LRR. First of all, I would like to thank and appreciate the efforts of our honorable ministers and any other members that is present in this August gathering here. Okay, my question is going to Honorable Minister of Environment. Honorable Minister of Environment, I can fully remember in our last MANSA KUNDA in 2025, we have talked about the issue that is affecting our forests, which is deforestation. And most especially in our rural area, people are cutting down of trees without replacing them, and which is really affecting the farmers and even agricultural sectors.
And the question?
If you look at the
question.
Okay, my question is, Honorable Minister, what can you and your ministry do to make a stop to deforestation in the country?
Thank you. Brilliant question. Next one, please.
Okay, thank you for giving me the floor. I am Honorable Ismaila Jallo, a representative of West Coast region. Okay, my question goes to the Honorable Ministry of Youth and Sport. Last year, okay, thank you for empowering youths in sport. Last year, we have played inter-school competition in our region, and the rules and regulations said that if any team win the cup, at least they will choose and qualify to the National Champions League. At least they will choose 2 players to represent the National Under-17 or National Under-15 team. But in our team last year, we won the cup in the regional level, and we went to the National Championship. We lose at semi-final. But none of our players has been chosen to represent the National Under-17.
The question.
That's the question.
That's the question. Thank you.
The question is why in the National Under-17 or Under-15 did not call for a trials at least 2 players
Thank you.
representing National Under-17.
Question number 4. Number 4. Now keep them short. Just the question, please. No context.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. My name is Honorable Rabetu Jallo from KM. Honorable Minister for Gender, Children and Social Welfare. I, Honorable Rabetu Jallo, acknowledge your minister's efforts in improving the lives of children in the Gambia. Honorable Minister, the last time you made mention on your plan to open a parts factory. So I don't know how far you have been working on that, because there is still shortage of sanitary pads in some schools. Thank you.
Number 5, please. Question number 5.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Paul Mendy, a representative of CRR. Okay, my question goes to the Minister of Environment. But before that, I would like to appreciate your efforts with your team by planting trees across the country and CRR. We are really grateful. The question is, why is it that the trees which have been planted just last year in CRR, almost all of them are dying? Thank you.
The question number 6, please. Question number 6, please. Quickly, please. Yes, go on.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Honorable Jimmy Konde, a representative from URR. My question goes to the Ministry of Environment. So my question to you today, what concrete step can the Ministry of Environment take both this year and in the next national budget to address flooding in the Upper River region, starting with most vulnerable villages?
Thank you. Question number 7, I think.
Good afternoon to you all. My name is Honorable Ali Jain, a SNAG member from West Coast region. Honorable Minister, this of children, environmental climate change. Honorable Minister, children are among those most affected by climate change. What concrete step is your minister taking to protect children and ensure that young people have a meaningful role in creating solutions? Thank you.
Question number 8. Question number 8.
Okay, good morning, everyone. I am Honorable Aminata Dabo from West Coast region. Okay, let me go straight to my question. My question goes to Honorable Minister for Environment. Okay, Honorable Minister for Environment, what specific actions is your ministry taking to protect children from the impacts of climate change, and how are children being meaningfully involved in shaping climate change and environmental policies?
Thank you. Question number 9. Penultimate question.
My name is Honorable Ismail Sedikan from LRR, and we appreciate your work. Anyways, my question is, what are some of the ways that are put in place to minimize the high cost of basic imported goods like rice, flour, and oil in the country?
That's for trade. Thank you. A final question now. Please, what we are going to do is, if you want to take all the questions today, we'll spend the night here. What I would propose, therefore, is you can write to the sector minister your question in the form of a letter, and he'll respond to your question. We'll facilitate that after the MANSA KUNDA. For now, we'll take the final question for this event.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. My name is Honorable Jena Bojang from KM. So my question is, the backward shelter, some of the employees take foods or items meant for the shelter home, which is bad. So how will your ministry tackle this, Ministry of Gender?
When you say they take, they steal it. You have a question as well. Then trade as a question, and gender and youth and sports. And then we round up for today. We have Nafisa, my sister, to give the final speech, the closing statement, and then we end this year's MANSA KUNDA. Environment, please.
Thank you so much. And this is just to clearly communicate that the children are particularly interested in joining hands with government to take up their responsible role in supporting environmental sanity. It's important, but we need you, and we need all hands here. And I'm happy that the UN body is here. They are a critical partner in supporting this cost, from the UNDP to the UN agency to the UNICEF, all of them, FAO. They are our key partners, because understanding that when climate change fails, when we fail with the environment, every other thing fails. For deforestation, we are doing a lot. I have been saying, it's one thing to have the laws, but enforcement must communicate to reciprocate to these laws. And that is where we have been having shortfalls in the past, but government has taken a bold step. We did a concept to understand the why. I keep saying, if you are part of the problem, I mean, when I say you, the custodian of the one that's responsible to implement these laws. We have very few that works in the offices, and we have been given that critical and unique role to lead in the affairs of executing these responsibilities. So if we are part of the problem, it will never be solved. And what we have to do is leadership. We needed to get that leadership figure to make sure that at least the command is strong, but it's also being able to be respected. Then we look at the sub-region. If you look at our close neighbor in Senegal, one time the minister of, my counterpart minister asked me, I am so surprised, how are you able to manage your forest and your wildlife when you are having civilians in the leadership role or managing these assets? I could not have imagined if this was the case in Senegal. We just have gone to bed and then leave everything to perish. I laughed, but I also take it up seriously. We did a study to understand what is working well in other parts of our neighbors. And we understand that we need a quasi-military system, but we pilot this with the forestry department, and it's working well. To summarize, we have executed that plan with endorsement from all levels necessary. Today we have a forest officer, a colonel, who is the forest director, and we are seeing the dividend. Then it was people complaining to me that we are seeing log here, we are seeing this here, but now it is those who have been playing in the market coming to now solicit support to help them so that at least the enforcement could be slowed down. That in itself is progress. But again, it takes all of us to achieve this. In the URR, in CRR, in LRR, we are having incidents of bushfire. That is also aggravating the dying of our trees that have been planted. I keep saying we cannot take one step forward and 10 steps backward. We will never progress. And planting trees is one thing, but also helping them to survive is another thing. And this is where the forest director is working on with strategy to make sure that we do not only plant, but we grow them. And we are working very hard to this. The target at the short term is to plant 30 million Malaina trees. And he's working up, and they are doing some tests to make sure that why are these trees failing. Seedlings. We've been getting these seedlings. We nurture them about 3-4 months. You come and plant them. The moment you touch them from that tender age, it's difficult to get them grow and grab the soil and grow. So now what he is doing is to do a direct planting, direct sowing. Get the seedlings and do a direct sowing. And this is sowing dividend. He has tried them. The example is when you now plant them, even during the dry season, they can still survive. When rain comes, they even become stronger and they are growing healthier. This is one of the things we are doing our research to make sure that why are they failing after even not having the bushfires. Among them, there are other species also. Planting and also growing. And we need all of us together to do this. Deforestation, we have a whole department working on this. The Department of Parks and Wildlife is a key stakeholder, but also the Department of Forestry. Just this morning, I was being consulted by the UN rep to draft concepts so that they can help sell the concept for Gambia to implement deforestation projects. We will do as much as possible to make sure that we increase our ecological health and also have more trees. That will also increase the green of our country. What concrete step to address flooding in URR? The issue of flooding is not only as a result of us not planting trees, but some of them also are because of illegal encroachments. People have settled on waterways. Also, some of them are road conditions, and then which have been taken care of. The Ministry of Works, when you build new roads, the first time you need to test it. And some of them are being tested when the rain comes. Then you look at the viability and the strength of its responding to flooding. And then the correction measures comes after that. I remember last year, the National Road Authority was assigned to go and take some of the corrective measures, and they have been done. After that, we have received no complaint that the particular area was flooding. But again, we are also working as a team with the local authorities to make sure that illegal encroachments on waterways have been addressed, and also make sure that the Ministry of Lands do the needfuls to serve them notice, or also to make sure that we work with the disaster agency to create new waterways where possible. What concrete steps to protect children from harm by the environment? General, I mentioned it in my opening statement, is to make sure that the children are also part of the decision making. And this can only be done by policy. And now we have the climate change law for the first time in the history of the Gambia. And in the law, recently, just a few weeks, last week, we have also gotten cabinet approve the regulation to implement this law. In the regulation, we are going to execute the constitution of the climate change, the Youth Climate Change Council. This council, we expect them to be working, but not only to work and also work for themselves, but to work in the name of the entire young people. Provide your policy directions, what you want, and how do you want it to be governed with respect to climate change. The last, and not the least, they're also the same, is the impact to climate change. It's just the same. If you want young people to participate in this, they have to be on the table to make decisions. Decisions that affects them, and also follow up the implementation as well.
Thank you. Thank you. Quickly, Minister for Electricity, 24 hours electricity. 1 minute to answer that, please.
Doctor, that's my new name, right? Thank you. I'm really surprised because usually North Bank and LR region used to have the most stable power supply in country. But if that was what happened, we apologize sincerely to those students who were affected. But just to assure you that the government of the Gambia is going to, in fact, use Yara Soma as our energy hub, where we are working hard to install 150 megawatt solar plant in that region to be able to, power the entire country. So be rest assured that efforts are being done to ensure that this country also enjoys 24/7 electricity supply. Thank you.
Thank you. Minister for Trade, basic commodities. They want the prices to go further down. If we know they've gone down further down.
Ibrahim, Ismaila, this has been a matter of market concern since I was a student 30 years ago. And it keeps coming. But I want to be a student for a moment and assist so that at least we can answer this question and have a distinction. Typically, it's about a demand and supply situation. And we said if the demand is higher than the supply, then price will increase. Then we also said if there is shortage, there will also be price increase. But in between, there are so many things. From the supply side, the supply is provided by either import or production. So what is it that government can do or market players can do to ensuring that there is adequacy in the supply to be able to stabilize prices? But again, how about on the demand side? The assumption is that the market demand is too high or actually is too low. Therefore, there is also market price instability. What can we do on the demand side to make it so also there is price stability? So I just want you to picture to figure out in a moment to say, okay, in between, what can happen that can really cause instability in the market? So many things can happen. And then you begin to figure it out. Either is it a supply side constraint problem or is it a demand side constraint problem? And then the policy response to that would be to target exactly what the problem is and then address it from that angle. Whether it is supply side or actually this is market issue. The market issue is addressed through regulations, making sure that there is no collusion, ensuring that there is fair play, and all of that. And we have responsible institutions looking at that. On the demand side, if it is about import constraints, logistic issues, or actually foreign-related imports, sometimes there are things that you can control, there are things that you cannot control.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. I think one thing that we can establish, Honorable Minister, the prices of basic commodities have gone down in the past year. That is established. A year ago, a bag of rice was over 2,200. Now it's 6,007. Onions have gone down. And this is not because of natural forces, no. Direct government subsidies. Subsidies in energy, subsidies in fuel, subsidies in education, and so on and so forth. But also subsidies in fact, import duties, and so on and so forth. So that is clear. Minister for Sports, stadium. What is happening at the stadium?
Thank you for that question. I would have been surprised if the stadium question never came until I leave here. Because it's almost the most important question that anybody asks. But let me assure you that the renovation of the stadium is complete. And we have done with the work as far as CAF requirement is concerned. And we just finished the athletics, which was not a requirement, it was just an addition that government put there. And we've written to CAF. In fact, they have sent their club license manager to take photos of all the work that was done last week. And so we are now waiting for them to come for the in-person inspection, which can happen anytime from next week. And we should be able to play here in September. So that is the update that we have for you with regards to the stadium.
Thank you.
The young guy from LRR was the National Assembly, the parliamentarian from LRR, asked about why some people from LRR were not selected for the under-17. Oh, it was West Coast. Okay, West Coast, sorry. I don't really know. I'm just not aware of that. As ministry, we don't get directly involved in player selection. That is a responsibility of the coach, and he answers directly to the Football Federation. But when there is a tournament, they look at the best players. It doesn't have to be whether you're from West Coast or from LRR. They select the best 40, and they bring them to camp, and then out of that, they select 32, and then eventually the final 27. That's how the selection is done. So, if you have in your club or someone that you think is good, but maybe the coach feels that he's not good, or even if he's good, he might not be a fit to the kind of team he wants to build, the person will not be selected. All right?
I got a note here that someone is crying because she wants to ask a question. I will let her ask a question. Where is she? Who is crying? She's still crying. Ask your question, please. Stop crying. The ministers are listening. Give her the mic, please. What's your question?
Thank you.
She stopped crying.
Good morning, everyone. Honorable Ministers, Honorable Minister of Basic and Secondary Education, I want to sincerely appreciate your efforts in ensuring that our educational system is being improved. I just want to make one appeal to you, which is, please, we will appreciate it if you and your ministry work together to ensure that our curriculum is being reformed. Thank you.
Thank you. So we will take that final question, Honorable Minister. Sanitary parts, quickly, please. 1 minute. We are running out of time. Ministers are crossing with the ferry in 40 minutes.
Thank you very much. We have been able to secure, we are working closely with ECOWAS on the sanitary part factory. And we have secured land, and we've been now to ECOWAS. We are waiting for their response.
Thank you.
The second issue, we have a production part in Basse, funded by UNFPA, but management was given to an NGO. When funding stopped, everything stopped. So we tried to reactivate that to public-private partnership. And my team, I saw my PS taking notes. My team has identified a private partner who's ready to support us and then make sure that that factory in Basse is up and running again. Then we stand, you make sure that we also decentralize in other regions and get a factory in each of the regions. But be rest assured, we funding from ECOWAS. We are going to get one in LRR. We've already secured the land and we've responded to ECOWAS. Now we're only waiting for them to come back to us and we get started. Thank you. Secondly, the shelter.
Yes.
The shelter. You said food at the shelter is stolen by the staff. That's very interesting. PS has taken note, and I saw Director of Children's Affairs also taking note with admin staff over there. So we'll investigate and make sure that if that is true, you put in place mechanisms that will avoid that from happening in future. I'm sorry about it, if it is happening at all, but thank you for the question.
Thank you. We'll take note. We'll start with you. We'll end with you, Honorable Minister for Basic Education, and the question is clear. Are there any plans for curriculum reform?
And I have the lucky question. And I am very happy and excited to report to you that, yes, we have reformed the curricula. We will very soon be implementing the curriculum, the reformed curricula, and this is going to address issues that we used to have in terms of attitude. So we have some aspect of attitude that is incorporated in the curricula, life skills, and of course, general knowledge. I want to use this opportunity before I retire to ask the representatives of the Chilean National Assembly to champion a particular reforms and a call to action that the ministry will be embarking upon in September. And this is going to complement efforts of the Ministry of Environment. We want to champion a course in the education sector, which is to always keep our school environments very clean. We want you to lead that action that the ministry is going to embark on in September. So let's assure ourselves and let's take the responsibility to say that going forward in September, starting September, our school environments will no longer be indiscriminately littered. That every trash that we find in the school environment, somebody has a responsibility to pick it and put it in a trash bin. And this is going to be across the schools. And let us also continue to encourage ourselves and the rest of the students to be respectful to their colleagues, to their teachers, and to the people that they relate with. And I want to indulge you also to be careful of the places, that these spaces that you go to. Make sure that any space or place that you go to is one that is safe, one that, if require company, that you go with someone who will look after you. I want to thank you again for this conversation and for this intergenerational dialogue. It has been very useful.
That brings us to the tail end of this program. My job has ended for now as the host of this panel discussion. I thank you all. I thank the honorable ministers for coming and for participating and for so eloquently answering the very important questions asked by the children. Now, for the children of the National Assembly, I want you to structure your questions now. Right from the National Assembly to the different ministers and ask those questions, and they'll answer and copy the Ministry of Information, making the necessary follow-ups for you as well, for those questions they're not able to ask. My job has said that I thank everyone for coming, the media, the ministers, the children, everybody. Because there's no time, I cannot thank everybody comprehensively, but thank you everyone. Now I'll hand over to Mr. Masja to close the program. And now he's moderating this session, taking over from me. Thank you.
Wow. I must say that that was an insightful and interesting dialogue. And thank you so much to the Minister of Information for hosting such a beautiful panel. And thank you to the honorable ministers for answering all our questions with so much clarity and for engaging with our concerns and ideas. And to the children of the Gambia, thank you so much for asking your questions, raising your concerns, and most importantly, letting the Gambia know that if children are given such platforms, they have a lot to say and a lot to contribute. So thank you so much. So without wasting much time, we will have the closing statement. And after that, because the ministers have to leave, after that we will have the short poetry performance and the Sona video. So
No, so what we've done is to tweak the program. The ministers have to go and cross with the president. We'll get the statement from Nafisa. Then after that, the ministers can leave. And then we'll play the video for the rest of the crowd as well. Huh? Because if you want to play the video and all that, the ministers will be delayed. Am I correct? Yes, I'm correct. Thank you, Nafisa, please.
Yeah, this needs to be adjusted. Yes. Thank you so much, Honorable Minister Cisse. I would like to say that I have attended a number of MANSA KUNDAs, but this was the best MANSA KUNDA ever. And of course, I cannot think of a better facilitator than our Honorable Minister. A big round of applause for him. So, in the interest of time, I may not be able to recognize everyone individually, but please know that I sincerely acknowledge and appreciate each one of you who participated today. Your presence here is deeply valued. To our honorable ministers, honorable speaker, and members of the Children National Assembly, and my beloved children and adolescents, member of the Diplomatic Corps and development partners, UN colleagues, civil society organization, National Human Rights Commission, media colleagues, and viewers and listeners of this live broadcast today and this afternoon. As we conclude this very inspiring second edition of MANSA KUNDA, I extend my heartfelt thanks to everyone who made today's dialogue possible and incredibly powerful. My special gratitude goes to, of course, Honorable Dr. Ismaila Cisse and his amazing team for creating this important platform, and to Honorable Minister Fatou Kinte for her leadership and steadfast commitment to child rights. Another big round of applause for both the ministries. I also thank you, all our honorable ministers, senior government officials present today, United Nations colleagues, diplomatic community, development partners, civil society organization, and very, very importantly, the media, the MANSA KUNDA Technical Working Group, for your continued partnership and dedication. And above all, I wish to recognize the active and inspiring participation of honorable members of the Children's National Assembly under the leadership of the Speaker, Honorable Speaker of the Children's National Assembly. Big round of applause for all of them. A quick question to the facilitator of this amazing MANSA KUNDA. Honorable, how many children we spoke today, or how many children spoke today? Approximately.
Approximately 15, I think.
More. Okay. Any wild guess?
19.
19. It's just a little less than 1.3 million children that you have heard today. It's not only the Children's National Assembly members, they spoke on behalf of those a little less than 1.3 million children. So bravo, and really a big round of applause to all of you. You have spoken with courage, confidence, and wisdom. You have also reminded us that children are not only leaders of tomorrow, you are citizens, advocates, agents of changes today, and already helping to shape the present and the future of the Gambia. What we have witnessed today is meaningful and ethical child participation in action. Article 12 of UNCRC became alive today in this room. Children and adolescents have been informed, prepared, and given the opportunity to speak freely on issues that affect their lives. Just as importantly, leaders and duty bearers have been here to listen with respect and to give those very good questions their views and weight they deserve. This is also the spirit of Ubuntu. I am because we are. It reminds us that no child thrives alone. Children thrive when families support them, communities protect them, schools nurture them, and the leaders, like the ministers, are listening and acting on those. When a child is excluded, silenced, or left behind, we all are diminished. When every child is heard, protected, and empowered, whole nation becomes stronger. So as we leave today, may this dialogue continue beyond this room. Let us carry the voices and recommendations of children into our institutions, our policies, and our actions. Let us move from listening to action, from consultation to genuine partnership, and from promises to results that children can see and feel in their daily lives. UNICEF and the wider UN family remain firmly committed to working with Government of the Gambia, communities, partners, and also definitely children themselves, to build a country where every child, especially the most vulnerable, is heard, protected, and given every opportunity to thrive. To the children and young people of the Gambia, thank you. Please continue to speak, continue to participate, continue to dream boldly, and continue to hold us accountable. Your voices matter. Your ideas have power. And your future deserves our greatest effort. Thank you all for the participation, your partnership, and your commitment. And not to forget that the National Youth Council played a critical role in organizing and bringing the platform together, right holders and duty bearers. Also not to forget the viewers and listeners who chimed in today in this live program. Thank you to all. And I wish you a safe journey home and enjoy the rest of the weekend. Jerechef Abaraka on Jarama. Thank you. Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Yes.
Yes, thank you so much. So we will have a quick group photo session on stage. Honorable Speaker, please, if you are here, you can.
Yes, thank you so much. Yes, please, you can have your seat while we continue the program. Please, can you have your seats so we can continue? Thank you, honorable ministers. Thank you so much for taking your time to join us here today. Yes, so with honor, I would love to welcome Miss Aissatou Diouf to give us a short poetry performance precisely reflecting on the panel discussion. So Miss Aissatou Diouf, you are welcome. Please join me in welcoming her with a big round of applause.
The Gambia. The Gambia is writing us a letter. In rivers, in forests, and in the eyes of every child still waiting for someone to notice. Every page whispers the same message. The Gambia is writing us a letter, but no one is reading it. It's written in classrooms, in hospital corridors, in forests, in rivers, and in the eyes of every child still waiting for someone to notice. Every page whispers the same message, so listen. Listen to the voices of our children. Listen to the voices of the differently able. Listen to the voices of healthcare workers fighting every day. Listen to the voices of farmers protecting our lands. Listen to the voices of our communities, because a nation is not built by its building, it is built by its people. If I am giving this opportunity, I would introduce diversity, because in the smiling coast of Africa, I can assure you that they are treasure. Not because they are perfect, but because every ability, every culture, every voice, every man, every woman, every young person adds a different color to one beautiful flag. So respecting them should be natural. Including them should be intentional. And of course, protecting them should be compulsory. Now tell me, what is health if people cannot access care? What is education if knowledge is not reachable to every child and community? Child protection? Oh yes, child protection. What is child protection if a child's best friend is fear? See, we keep talking about change, but change is not a speech. Change is a decision. So let our hoping become stumping. Stumping on discrimination, let our stumping become bumping. Bumping away ignorance, let our bumping become pumping. Pumping life in our schools, pumping hope in our communities, pumping care in our hospitals. So let our pumping become jumping, jumping into actions, protecting our schools, protecting our children, protecting one another. Because when we protect one another, we protect a nation. When we educate children, we build leaders. But most importantly, when we embrace diversity, we discover that our differences are not our barriers, they are our greatest strength. So let us stop asking, who would do it? Instead ask, what can I do? Because the next chapter of the Gambia is not waiting to be written. It is written here in the MANSA KUNDA, a platform where every youth is welcome. Thank you.
Wow, I must say that was a very powerful piece. From pumping to stumping to jumping into action. Yes, thank you so much, Miss Aissatou Diouf. So, on this note, I will, if they are ready. Yes, on this note, I would like to welcome the UNICEF to play the video, the sonar video, the empty desk.
Sonarams, oh, sonarams, oh, sonarams, oh, sonarams, sonarams, oh, sonarams, oh, sonarams, oh, sonarams. Who brings correct when it's told? Sonar, who speaks up for every child, say sonar, who believes in equal voice, sonar, see the minds us, we all have a choice.
Good morning, children. Hope you are all set for school. You can't be late.
My daughter, when I was your age, I didn't go to school. Girls were expected to stay home. But later, I joined the adult literacy classes and it changed my life.
Your mother is very right, my daughter. I remember the first time you read a storybook to me. Oh, I was so proud.
Wow, Mama. I didn't know that. And now you're a teacher.
Yes. You and Pa inspire me every day to keep learning and teaching.
Watching you both go to school really makes me happy.
Even when I forget my homework.
Especially then. Besides, our very own special community teacher is here with us. So homework or not, she will always go through your schoolwork with you here at home.
That's right. Mom Fatu teaches everyone, including me.
Today feels like a great day to make a difference.
All right, children, time to leave for school now. And make sure you pass by the tap and wash your hands as you're leaving, okay?
Okay, Nene. See you later, Baba. Pa, let's go. Sang is still not here. That's 3 days now.
3 days? Boy, that's like 100 math problems missed.
Or 1,000 spelling words. Okay, guys, let's find out after school.
Tisana is on the case.
It's good to have extra hands at harvest time, son. Just until things get better.
I miss school. I miss my friends.
I know. But we need your help. The stall won't run itself.
I keep thinking about Sang's decks. It's like it's waiting for him.
He always helped me with math homework. I miss that.
And he's the only one that could beat me at spellings. That desk misses him, just like we do.
Maybe we should visit him after school today. And Baba and Mama can come too.
Of course, my daughter. We will come if we are needed. It's important we all stand together for Sang.
Just like our people used to say, a child raised alone grows small, but a child raised by the village will surely grow tall.
Operation Bring Back Sang begins now.
Uncle, Auntie, we miss Sang at school. His desk feels empty without him.
He's smart. He helps us all in class. We are worried that if he doesn't come back soon, he will fall behind with the lesson.
We came as neighbors to see how we can help. Sang is a bright boy.
We want him to learn, but we are struggling. And you know it's time for harvest. We must make the most of it.
But maybe we can find a way together. Don't you think so?
Maybe the school can help. We can talk to the head teacher.
Would they listen?
They will, if we go together. We have seen it work before.
Let's try. We can go together. Education isn't just for those who can afford time. It's for everyone. Sang deserves to learn, just like the rest of us.
I want to go back. I really do.
Aha, that's the spirit. Education and family can go hand in hand.
Thank you all for coming. We know it's harvest time and many families need extra help. But we also know that every child deserves to be in school. So today, we are here not just as teachers, but as neighbors to ask, how can we support each other and still make sure our children learn?
Thank you, Miss Lydia. It is important that we come as a community to always discuss and help each other to ensure our children can be fully engaged in their learning and school activities. As a teacher and a mother, I have seen girls hesitate to speak, but when they are given equal opportunities, they shine and do so well. I did not get the chance to go to school as a child, but I found my way back through adult literacy. Now I can teach, and I want every girl to know it's never too late.
Absolutely. I encourage Ma'am Fatu to go back to school, and I am proud of her every day. Seeing our son and daughter in school, learning together, that's the future we believe in.
We have been very busy with the groundnut harvest this week. The Lumo is coming, and the family depends on it. That is why Sang and our extended family have to help with the harvesting and selling while the season is on.
Sang's family needs support. Can we help them so he can come back to school?
That's a good idea. We can organize a weekend market. Families can sell together, share the work, and free up the children during the week.
That would be really helpful. Thank you, everyone. I am so grateful for your support.
And we will help organize it. Let's make sure no child is left behind.
I have an idea. We can employ any young adult looking for a part-time job within the community. Someone that will be able to do the job well and also earn some money for themselves.
We can also inform the Alcalo, so the whole community too can support their family. A harvest becomes easier when many hands help, and children grow stronger when the community supports their learning. In our community, we don't leave a child behind.
In Kankuba, we lift each other up.
Meow. Even Musnja agrees. You are back.
I'm ready to learn. I miss this so much.
Welcome back, son. You belong here always.
Now I got my mathematics partner again. And my spelling rival.
Let the learning begin.
Welcome back, son.
Thank you, all of you.
Now, let's begin today's lesson together.
Thank you so much. Representatives and the children of the Gambia, and to everyone that is watching us from home. This brings us to the end of today's special MANSA KUNDA second edition 2026. And on behalf of the children of the Gambia, I thank you all for listening to us, for participating, and also for believing in us. We are looking forward to welcoming you at our next special MANSA KUNDA event. And until then, let us continue to listen to children, to invest in children, and to build a Gambia where every child has the opportunity and the chance to strive. Thank you all, and have a wonderful weekend.